Our Upanishads say, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amrutatva manashuhu. By mere action which is directed towards one's own selfish gains, or by having progeny, or to continue one's lineage, or by amassing wealth and resources, no one can attain immortality. But by the path of sacrifice alone, immortality is attainable. People think that if they do a lot of things, they leave behind a legacy in their name of building empires, probably people would remember them forever. But our history is replete with forgotten heroes and the stories of those whom we don't even like to read about because they haven't done anything significant for the society. They might have built empires and then empires were conquered, wars were fought, and they built new empires, new kings appeared on the scene. And the history is full of such stories, but who cares? Who cares today about all those who tried to do such kind of actions which were selfish and tried to build a name for themselves? Prajaya. Some people think if I have a grandson or son and a grandson, my lineage will continue and forever my family will be remembered. If I ask in the people in this hall, I don't think beyond 3 or 4 generations you can even remember whose lineage you are continuing right now. That is how we have forgotten, even though we tried to remain in the memory of the people through our progeny, through our families, through our lineages. But it does not happen. Dhanena, by amassing a lot of wealth and being called as you are the richest in the world, you are the most powerful, the mightiest, nobody has become permanent. Most of them have been forgotten. The great kings, the empire builders, to businessmen, to those who were the richest merchants, all of them came and went. And we have some fading memories of such people at best. But nobody remembers them with any respect. Nobody worships them. But people who have sacrificed for others, tyage naike amrutatva manashuhu, who lived a life of sacrifice for others, they always remain in the memory of people. They are worshipped in homes unknown, in families not related to them, in places that they don't belong to, they never belong to. Even there they are worshipped, they are remembered, they are revered, because these are the people who lived life of sacrifice. So our scriptures are very clear. Whether immortality on this earth or beyond, that of the soul, can never be attained by impermanent means. How can permanence be attained through impermanent things? Permanence can be attained only through permanent things. And the permanent thing that remains in this world much after we are gone is not our wealth, not our power, position, popularity, or even our lineage or family relations. What remains permanent is in this world is only an act of sacrifice, which somebody somewhere would remember you for, and will remember with devotion, with respect, with honor. And that kind of life is what one is exhorted to live in this world. Our scriptures say it all the time. And whenever they chant this, the part of Suktams as well as Upanishads, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amrutatva manashuhu parena nakam nihitam guhayam vibrajadetad yatayo vashanti vedanta vijnana sunischitartha sannyasa yoga yateyah shuddha sattvaha te brahmaloke tu paranta kale paramrutat parimuchanti sarve. Those who have lived a life like this, they attain the highest beyond all that in this world and even beyond the other world. Parena nakam, beyond the skies or beyond the heavens, they attain the highest supreme state of existence. And that state of existence is given only to this. Tasma tyage naike, the one who is sacrificed and the one who is yogi. Tyagi is a yogi. Yatayaha, the one who puts effort. This sacrifice does not happen to you just like that. You have to make efforts because mind always works against sacrifice and service. It is selfish by nature. It wants to hoard and amass and protect itself. And this survival instinct that we bring from our previous lifetimes and also from our evolutionary patterns does not allow us to give away things or sacrifice for each other. It actually insists that we hold on to things. even if they are not necessary. But that is where our Upanishadic call comes. That which hides in the cave of your heart, parena nakam nihitam guhayam, as if that which hides behind or beyond the skies or the heavens also hides within you, as guhayam, as if in the cave of yourself. That self is what is attained through the and vibrajadeta yatayo vishanti. Vibraja, it is full of effulgence, it's full of brightness, it's full of light, which means to say it is full of beauty, satyam, shivam, sundaram, all that which is attributed to immortality and divinity, that is what it is. Yatayo vishanti. That one can attain that, reach that cave within by certain efforts. And that is yatatma, the one who puts efforts to withdraw oneself within and to give up the pursuits of the impermanent things of the outside, the without. Such a person goes inside and finds that self in the cave of one's own heart. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha. Such a person is adept, is confirmed, is convinced about this Vedanta Vijnana, the knowledge of Vedanta, which says you are nothing but that immortal self and everything else is a superimposition on your supreme existence. Like the screen is now covered with my picture, the flowers, the chair, and so on and so forth. If the camera turns the other way, it will now be covered with your faces. Turn the camera the other way and show me their faces. How the screen simply changes itself. It looks like the screen has changed, but screen remains. It's only the pictures that have changed. Likewise, that which is permanent, that is what the Vedanta knowledge is. Your permanence is yourself, the supreme self, on which everything else is playing. Your mind is superimposed on that, your thoughts, emotions, ideas, likes, dislikes, all these are superimpositions on that self, like the pictures are superimposed on the screen. Screen is your real self, the pictures are the moving, impermanent things of the world. Wealth, progeny, name, fame, power, position, all these come and go. The self remains untouched, unperturbed. So Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha, the one who is Sunishchita, extremely convinced about that knowledge in the Vedanta, that I am the Supreme Self. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha Sannyasa Yoga Adyateha Shuddha Sattvaha. Through Sannyasa Yoga. Sannyasa Yoga is yoga of withdrawal, yoga of turning within, yoga of giving up things which are not necessary for this path. Such a person with less luggage can travel faster. And that Sannyasa Yoga one has to develop, which is the idea of sacrificing or giving up things which are unnecessary for this journey, which is what we call less luggage, more comfort, makes travel a pleasure. Every railway coach in India that is kept to encourage people to carry less luggage, but hardly we listen to all that. We make it inconvenient to ourselves and everybody around us. So in spiritual path also less luggage. Less of attachments, less of relationships, less of all kinds of amassed material things, less thoughts, less emotions, less baggages of your past memories. Lighter your travel becomes, faster your travel becomes. That is what he says. Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartha Sannyasa Yoga Yateha Shuddha Sattvaha. Shuddha Sattva. Pure feeling, the one who puts that effort, he is pure within and he attains purity also through this act of giving up things which are unnecessary. Te Brahmaloke tu Parantakale. And they reach the Brahmaloka. There are various lokas, as you know, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala, like that. Something downward 7 and above 7. Bhurbhuva, Suva, Mahajana, Tapa, Satyam, like that. The Satyaloka is Brahmaloka. But here Brahmaloka does not mean these states of existence of mind. It means the ultimate supreme goal. Brahman is borrowed from the word Bruhad, means vast, infinite, endless. So that existence which is endlessness, infinite, that becomes theirs. Te Brahma Luke tu Parantakale. At the very end, after you are done with all your duties, your dharma, your karma, your artha, kama, moksha, all that you have finished, ultimately you reach that Brahma Loka, that ultimate existence, in which you know that you are that self and everything else that is temporary is just a superimposition. It is superimposed on you, but you are not any one of these. Like we wear clothes, but we are not the clothes. Tomorrow we can change to another set of clothes. We look different if we wear different clothes. But that does not mean we are that. Somebody goes to office, wears a suit. For that moment, yes, he's an officer, he wears a suit, which is in accordance with his profession. But that does not mean he is the suit. Likewise, at different points of time, different thoughts occupy us, emotions occupy us, ideas and ambitions occupy us. None of this is us. We are those who are experiencing this. We are the experiencer, not the emotions. That is the idea of Te Brahma Loketu Parantakale Paramrutat. Amrutat. Immortal. Paramrutat. Ultimate immortality. There is some immortality in this world too. When you do good deed, somebody will put a plaque in your name. At least for some times it remains, if not forever. But that ultimate immortality, Paramrutat Parimuchyanti Sarve, freed from everything, Parimuchyanti, ultimately attains the highest immortality, having gotten rid of all bondages, Parimuchyanti. He's been freed, completely freed. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa would say, all gunas in us, all ideas in us, good or bad or ugly, they are like chains. Good desire is like gold chain, which is still binding you. Bad desire is like an iron chain, but it still binds you. How does it matter? Both are bondages. So no desire is the freedom. So parimuchyanti sarve, desireless existence. Having given up everything, all kinds of desires and all pursuits of lower things, the material things, such a person is freed and he attains the ultimate Brahma Loketu Parantakale. Parimuchyanti sarve. So this is the beauty of our scriptures, you see. If scriptures are not there, we won't have eyes to see. Scriptures are our eyes that make us see the things correctly. So in the light of scriptures, our knowledge, our understanding becomes clear. Like in a dark room, you will be afraid and you would take one thing for the other and get scared. But when the light is on and you can see clearly, then everything is visible to you. You can easily differentiate between things. So scriptures give us that light, that vision, in which we can see worldly from the spiritual. We can see impermanence from the permanent. We can see temporary from the eternal. And then can easily discriminate between the two. Once we do that, we are able to go for that which is permanent and discard that which is impermanent. So this scriptural truth is extremely important. I keep hearing children chanting, but I do not know how much they sit and think about it. That the only way to immortality is sacrifice. And let me tell you, sacrificing material things on the outside is very easy comparatively. Even that is tough, so to say, but that is relatively easy. Sacrificing one's ideas, ambitions, very difficult. I have seen a lot of people. As you know, Brahmanas are there, Kshatriyas are there, Vaishyas are, Shudras are there. 4 classifications are there. They are not categories or classes or hierarchies. There are 4 kinds of people with their different aptitudes, guna dharma vibhagashaha, based on their aptitudes. And what does each one of do? Brahmins are generally in pursuit of knowledge, wisdom. Their ego comes from the idea that I know a lot, I am very well read, I am intelligent. Their ego comes from that. They are not supposedly so much after money or power or fame or popularity in terms of worldly wealth. They want to be popular in terms of their knowledge. They should be known as intelligent people. People should respect them for their knowledge. That is their idea. An insatiable thirst to acquire as much knowledge as possible. They go on reading. That is how they are supposed to be. Disposition is like that for them. But that is also a kind of ego, that I know too much and nobody knows more than me. That's also ahankara, that's also mamakara. Kshatriyas, they're not interested in so much of knowledge, but they're interested in power and position, in the governance. They want to rule. They want to have their way. And they respect the other categories, but ultimately they respect power. So then you see a lot of people are very powerful in our country. Their knowledge levels are absolutely zero. Their understanding of culture, heritage, or spirituality is not at all there. Because they never pursued those. They just pursued power. By hook or crook, they get there where they want to get. So these people are not interested in other 3 categories. That doesn't last. Has anybody lasted with all the power? No. Alexander the Great went back empty-handed and said, please keep my hands out of the casket and display it in the whole city so that everybody knows that I'm gone empty-handed. I have not taken 1 inch of land with me that I have conquered in my life. Likewise, then there are those who are Vaishyas. The Vaishyas are business people. They are tradesmen. They are the money people. They do not find interest in anything other than making money. If power can give them money, then they want power. If knowledge can give them money, then they want knowledge. At the end, it should be money. If money is not there, they are not satisfied. If their wealth has not increased today, they won't go to sleep. They'll be worried, oh, today my wealth is not increased. It is stuck where it is. Or if it decreases, it's even worse for them. They will lose all peace. Because their whole pursuit is money, more wealth, more accumulation. What will they do with it? Nobody knows, but they keep making more money and more money and more money. They're not interested in pursuing knowledge. As I said, if that knowledge helps in developing their business, then they will take interest. If the power or position helps in developing their wealth, then they'll take interest. They're not interested in other things. So those are the Vaishyas. And they are the Shudras, the fourth class. What they do? They're not interested in knowledge, pursuit of knowledge. They're not interested in pursuit of power. They're not even interested in money. They are interested in merrymaking and pleasures, physical pleasures largely. And they only do so much work, which will give them that physical pleasure. Drink for today, sleep. Tomorrow we will see tomorrow. Enjoy your other ideas and pleasures. And they work with very little efforts, with little intensity or intention. They just work enough to fill their belly for today and have a good time today. Tomorrow we will see tomorrow. The other three are not like that, but these are like that. Not because they are very detached and they're very surrendered to God. Simply they are in a way lazy. They are in a way people who do not have that even the little worldly ambition. They are okay with what they are. Many times I see many workers come, we tell them, we'll give you double the money, please work. They say, no, this is enough for us. They appear like they're sadhus because they don't want more money, but the truth is they just want to go drink with it and enjoy, and we'll see tomorrow what happens. These are typical problems. And not only this is Indian four classes, this is across the world you will see. Wherever you go, you will find these four kinds of dispositions: pursuit of knowledge, pursuit of power, pursuit of wealth, and pursuit of pleasures. These you will see everywhere. So all these are impermanence only, but we are disposed. Why? They are chains of different kinds. Maybe Brahmins, you say knowledge is greater. Okay, then it is a gold chain or platinum chain. The Kshatriyas want power, gold chain. Or whatever, the next Vaishyas want something, silver chain. And the Shudras, iron chain. But all these are chains that chain us down to the worldly existence. And it never gives us the peace and freedom. Initially, it may all look very nice because we are able to satisfy our mind. But eventually, it all becomes a nightmare. They say, in Tripurasya says, even Viveka Chudamani it says, that in the beginning, the spiritual path is very bitter, very painful. But at the end, that is what gives us all the sweetness and joy. Worldly things are very sweet and attractive in the beginning, but at the end, they cause all the misery and pain. This is how it is designed. So what is painful today becomes very pleasurable tomorrow. That is spiritual path. And that is the idea of Shreyascha, Prayascha, Manushya Metad. You choose between the right versus the pleasurable. Pleasurable things are very easy. Who chooses them? The fool. Yamadharmaraja says. Who chooses them? The fool. Shreyascha, Prayascha, Manushya Metad. Tav Samparitya Vivinakti Dhira. Prayobhi. Shreyobi Dhiro Abhivrinite. Prayohi Mando. Manda is the word he uses, that dull-witted. Unintelligent people choose Priya. I want the immediate pleasure, enjoy. Tomorrow's worry he does not have. Why? Because he doesn't care. Tomorrow again he'll suffer, or he'll enjoy based on what happens tomorrow. So that Manda Buddhi, the dull-witted ones, unintelligent ones, fools and ignorant, choose the easy thing out. So you may say, oh, what about the kings? They are very intelligent, or the Brahmins. They are also fools from the point of view of Yamadharmaraja. Because they have not attained the ultimate knowledge. These are all impermanent knowledge. It keeps changing. And that knowledge is not going to take us to the permanent thing. Simple, why an impermanent thing will take us to a permanent result. So that is why our scripture goes on repeating these ideas. And endless. Every Upanishad you pick up, it will tell you the same thing. It will tell you in different ways, but finally it reaches the same point. That unless you learn to sacrifice the lower, you can never attain the higher. This requires certain discipline, spiritual discipline. One day if you do it, you won't get it. You have to do it consistently, permanently. Then only you get permanent results. Temporary work will give you temporary results. Many people are there, they just get excited, they go to gym and all. 1 month they go to gym, they develop all the muscles and things like that. Next month they don't go to gym, all the muscles disappear. It's a permanent effort that if you want to maintain fitness, you have to be At it all through. The moment you give up, fitness leaves you. Likewise, spiritual fitness also requires consistent effort. Consistency is the key, as they say. Every day we must grow, every day we must evolve in our idea of sacrifice and service, in our idea of seeking that spiritual enlightenment and giving up our worldly things. So many students have written to me, I'm just answering this for them. Swami, we all want to pursue liberation. We all want to pursue spiritual path. We also want enlightenment and be Jivan Muktas. But our mind comes in the way, the senses, the pleasures of the world, they all come distract us. Every time we set out with great determination, we do something, but then we slip back, and what do we do? Then I tell them that this is how it is. This is a game, right? Like you have an opposite team. You're playing football. You start with this ball on this side of the court. As you keep going, there will be opponents. They will try to stop you from scoring a goal. This is the game. And your own mind works against you in these situations. The senses work against you. Only your better intelligence, discrimination, works with you. It tells you how to navigate the opponents and how to reach the goal. So that is a game. You have to become good at it. You have to practice and practice and practice so that you become so good at beating your opponents. And that is a part of life. You cannot have a shortcut. You cannot have a faster route or any other way. It has to be the organic, natural progress. Every day you have to practice. Every day you have to become better. Like we practice everything and become better. This also requires a lot of spiritual discipline. But one thing I tell them is that your frequency of your engagement with worldly things should start coming down. Earlier, every evening you want to go for a party. Every evening you want to eat something. Every evening you want to do some merrymaking. But now it should taste should start coming down for it, and the frequency of it. There was one man who used to use snuff. They'll keep sniffing on that and enjoy that. Is some kind of a substance. It's very popular in rural parts of the country. So they would buy this from these small shops, and then they will keep in them and keep snuffing. Their nose will be black all the time. They'll be snuffing that. So this man had this habit of snuffing. So he could not have gotten rid of it because it's a substance, it's addictive. So you cannot get rid of it very easily. So he went to a guru and said, please help me with this. How much ever I try to give up, again and again I fall into the same habit. Please help me to get out of this habit. Then the guru said, what do you do as a profession? He said, I'm a teacher. He said, if you're a teacher, then you must be using chalk piece to write on the blackboard. He said, yes, I do. In those days, at least they used to use. Now also they use. So he said, do one thing. Take a chalk piece of a size of your snuff, and every day as you write with that piece, whatever the size remains at the end of the day, only that much stuff you should use for that day. Next day when you write again with it, it will further diminish. You use lesser amount of snuff. And like this, you keep reducing over a period of time. As your chalk piece dwindles, your snuffing habit also will come down. So he gave him this tip, and then he started doing that very strictly. He followed only so much, as much as the piece of the chalk. And this is how slowly he started reducing. The idea is that shanai shanai uparamed. Slowly you have to withdraw. You cannot suddenly one day wake up and say, yesterday everybody is super inspired, looks like after my discourse. I've got a lot of messages and letters. Please grant me enlightenment. I will be your best shishya. I will do this, I will do that. I know all these soda bubble inspiration will disappear. So I want to reinforce that yes, you have got this idea now. Good that at least you thought about it. You thought that I must seek that. But to do that, there is a process. It is not some, manna from heaven. It won't fall into your hands just like that. You have to earn it. Earning requires spiritual discipline, and that's a gradual process. Don't get too ambitious about this also, that I somehow started off by tomorrow, by act of some miracle, I will get lucky and somehow I'll attain enlightenment. That doesn't happen like that. It's a gradual process. It takes a while, and you have to give yourself that time. For getting a degree, you have studied 15 years. From your schooling, and you started with A, B, C, D, all the way up to your degree, post-graduation. You have spent a good 15, 20 years to reach there. How can you attain enlightenment in just one day's effort? Somehow we believe that God will be kind and merciful. Somehow He will grant us more than what we deserve. No, don't go by all these ideas. He'll definitely give you more results than your efforts. But without efforts, there are no results. Even here, efforts have to be put, and they have to be consistent. And how do you know your efforts are yielding results? You're getting better at it. You're able to overcome your mind and its distractions and senses, because the frequency of falling into that trap of mind and senses is reducing. The bouts of your desires and angers and ambitions, they start mellowing down, they start coming down. That is the only progress. And sometimes you may just slip and fall, but rise again, get up again, and walk. Giving up is not the solution. It is possible for everyone. Seek that which is the highest. The only way is sacrifice. Sacrifice for the lower, then only you will attain the higher. You can't have this and that and enjoy both. That's not going to happen. That's never going to happen. Somebody says you can have the world and also have the God, they're fooling you. They're just trying to be nice to you because they just want you. No, but I tell you very quickly, world you can have in the sense, only so much of the world that is necessary for you. Beyond that, it is not required. You will not even have the desire to hold on to that world. The desire itself will start diminishing. Because it has replaced itself with a higher desire. And that higher desire is now consuming your being. You cannot give it up. You can't rest without achieving it. So it will not allow you to fall into the lower things. This is the method. Inspire yourselves by reading the scriptures, by being in the company of people who are also desirous of that freedom, by constantly putting efforts on a regular basis. And even if you slip and fall a little bit, doesn't matter. Nothing we have learned on the first day. How many times we have fallen before we learned how to walk? How many times we have, whatever, made mistakes in writing before we learned to write correctly? How many times we dropped our food, we couldn't even put it in our mouth correctly before we learned how to eat properly? Everything from buttoning a shirt to tying a lace of the shoe to combing your hair to taking a bath, everything we have learned through efforts only. There is nothing that has come to us just like that. Yes, some prodigies might be there, but they are very rare. For a regular person, take to the path of efforts, and good efforts, sincere efforts will be paid off very well, because God is looking for such sincere seekers. God's whole agenda is to help you realize yourself. So if anybody is putting that effort, God becomes very happy. Like a teacher becomes very happy when he sees the student putting efforts. He brings more books, more references, more ideas to him and says, read this also, this will help you, because he sees this sincerity. That is what I was telling, be sincere. Continue to put efforts. Every field of knowledge requires effort, so also spirituality. And yatataha shuddha sattvaha, to purify yourself is an effort. Prayatna. Yatna should be there. Without that you cannot. And what Krishna says so beautifully, at the end, whoever is that person, neha bikrama nashosti pratyavayo na vidyate salpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahatav. Nothing, none of these efforts will be wasted. Even if you don't see the results today, your knowledge doesn't disappear, unlike worldly things. Spiritual knowledge remains. Even if this much experience you have had of that freedom, it will stay with you. Efforts that you have put will never be wasted. And there is no adverse effect to these efforts. Some other things may have adverse, like medicines have their side effects. But this has no side effects, it only has good effect. And even little if you understand this, you will start getting over many of your weaknesses and fears. That will help you to further progress. It's like self-perpetuating kind of thing. You achieve a little more bit, it gives you more strength to do more work. Then you do more work, you achieve a little more. And that's how it goes on, propagating itself, perpetuating itself. This is how spirituality has been designed. There is no shortcuts. And Guru, yes, of course, Guru's grace can faster, make things faster for you, because he knows the way. He can guide you where the pitfalls are. Like a good coach, a football coach, will tell you your technique is wrong, you are not watching on your left, this opponent always comes and blocks you, keep an eye on that. So he can teach you all the techniques. That is what makes your learning faster. But beyond that, Guru cannot do. It's like coach coming and starting to play for you. That is not allowed. He can only coach you, and depends on how much effort you put. So I am only a coach. I can only do so much. I can only help you understand where the weaknesses are, what you need to improve on, what are your strengths, what challenges they come on the way, how to overcome them, what kind of exercises you must do. These are the simple things I can tell you, which if you follow, you will also attain that highest. Te brahmaloke tu parantakale paramritat parimuchyanti sarve. Today I also wanted to mention about our students. Some of them are going for their exams. Again, as I said, exams should not be thought of as a burden. It should be something that you should look forward to, because only when you clear the exam will you get promoted to the next class, will you get to learn new things. So exams should be welcomed. Take exams faster so that you can grow faster. During COVID, I have seen some people at home, they did how many courses online. Somebody did some 120, 130 courses of all kinds. I said, why are you doing this? He said, anyway, I will be sitting here doing nothing. So imagine you would have written 130 exams to get to 130 certifications. People are like that. Maybe the Brahmin category, knowledge hungry. But still, basic knowledge everybody should have. If you've chosen a path, you have to pursue that path. And excellence is a must. And some of these paths, like medical care, no casual approach, because that can cost somebody their life. And that is not right, because you are not here to harm anyone. I said, do no harm is the basic. But that starts with knowledge of the field, to do no harm. Otherwise, because of lack of knowledge, you will inadvertently end up harming somebody. Even though intentionally you want to help, but it won't happen. So you do that. That day somebody told me, Swamiji, I have cleared my postgraduate whatever exam at 66%. I asked him, what about the remaining 44%? For whose sake you left that behind? Because postgraduate clearing at a first class is a big thing. Generally they think like that. But I asked them, why that 40% should be left? Are you not supposed to know everything that we are studying? We are supposed to, right? Then why you left that? It's like somebody, you go to a nice restaurant or hotel, order a food which is worth 1,000 rupees. And then you say, I just want to leave some food behind, even though you have appetite for it. Why would you leave it? You paid for it, you better have it. Like that. Why do you leave those marks? You should not leave it. Where does those marks go? To the teacher? To the dustbin? No, it is the lack of knowledge. That's what is the representation in your marks card. So no, knowledge is a must for especially people with any field, but critical fields like healthcare, where that knowledge can make or break the situation, you see. That kind of hunger should be there to learn, and the only way, again, as I said, is have efforts. Put efforts. Nothing can match. There is no substitute to hard work, as say. There is no shortcuts. No shortcut in life. Everything has to come through hard work only. But you will see you'll get better and better. What you used to take 1 hour to do, you'll start doing in 10 minutes, because your concentration is going up, you're sincere, you're focused, so you learn faster. So in these fields, I do not want any complacency, any casual approach. You must have that hunger, the pursuit, dogged pursuit to attain that ultimate knowledge. And if you don't understand something, clarify then and there. Don't keep it in your mind like undigested food. It will cause trouble. And like Karna's curse is there, when you need that most, that time only you won't have it. You would skip a chapter, you'll skip a topic, you'll skip a technique, thinking, I would not need this. And you knows in life you'll end up in a situation, very critical one, where that is what would help, but you wouldn't know it. Like Karna forgot his mantras because of the curse of Parshurama, right at the battlefield, when he was supposed to fight the great Arjuna. He forgot. It shouldn't happen like that. So you should keep putting efforts, and sincerity always gets rewarded. Never a sincere person has suffered or had any setbacks. They will get more than what they deserve, so keep putting efforts. Also, I wanted to share a nice video. I was in Nigeria 2 years ago, and then as I was leaving the school, I went there to celebrate Christmas, because that was probably the first Christmas after Father Charles was no more. We lost him during COVID after a long and hard battle. And it was unfortunate, and everybody was worried that how the school would function. And then, of course, they derived a lot of strength from his teachings and work earlier. And then I told them, I am there, I will support in whatever way to continue the work that is going on. And it has only grown since then. The others have taken it up very well. And when I was finishing the school rounds, it was already dark. There were not many street lights. It's a small village, very remote. So when I was coming and I got inside the car and I wanted to leave, some children were there and they were tapping on the window glass. And I lowered the glass and looked around and saw there were two boys, and one of them was saying, I want to come to India. Because I had told I'm starting a medical school. Anybody wants to come to India and study medicine, I would take them in. And then this boy said, please take me. I want to come to India and study. I said, I'll take 2 children to begin with. And if you do well, then I will take next 2 and next 2. Like this, we will keep increasing. And one day you can study here. Medical education in India is quite controlled, regularized. So we cannot regulate it. So we cannot just do as we please. So we get a very few seats that can be allotted for foreigners or non-residents. So I have only 3 seats out of 50 which can be allocated to non-residents or foreigners. The rest all have to be Indian origin people. So this year then we called them, the 2 children came. one boy by name Christopher, and the other girl by name Precious. They came here, their syllabus, our syllabus not matching. The school is different, our schooling is different. So they took some time to cover that, pass the exams, also study for their NEET, which is the national exam for entrance tests. Both of them have cleared the entrance test, and both of them have secured the seat in our medical school for this coming year. What I want to tell is that, yeah, I feel very happy when I can keep up my promises, you know. I feel terrible if I break my promise. रघुकुल रीति सदा चली आई प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए. We will rather trade our life but not our word. And then these two have got, and I hope the formalities will be done, because I got a good scare from the authorities saying that no, their paperwork has to be approved, is that they are foreigners, we don't know whether we can take the nice. So you can't tell me this all now when they are here for 2 years and they've cleared the entrance exam. Now you can't tell me that we don't know whether it is possible or not. It better be possible. Anyway, all that work was done and both of them got. Somebody made a nice video on Christopher. Now I feel bad telling their sad stories in the public, but this is just to inspire. So I hope Christopher will forgive me and his family will forgive me for putting his story out in the open. But our school people have made a very nice series called Hope in Action. These are the stories of some of our children who have come to study here. And I would say he's representing probably 65 to 70% of our children. What he has gone through in Nigeria, that is what close to 60-70% of our children go through in their lives before they come here. So I just told them that, can you play the video, and you will know what this medical college is doing, how it's going to impact the lives of these countless children. And those who are already studying, you better be conscious of this thought that there are hundreds out there craving for this opportunity. If I had more control over the regulation, if I tried my best to get the government to agree to our terms, but there are, I would say, vested interests. They would not allow a free medical college to just thrive like that, because that makes them all look very bad. As one of the prime ministers of a country told me, Swamiji, you make us all look very bad, because we are prime ministers, we don't do what you're doing, and then we feel embarrassed. I do not know what is the reason, but then it's so highly regulated that we just can't have any control over the seat metrics or how we want it to be given to the poorest, the needy, the most deserving. We have put a lot of checks and balances, but they are not sufficient. So we had to finally agree and live with it, make peace with whatever was the rules. We are living with it. Fortunately, we are getting good students, not bad. Sometimes they are a little difficult, but otherwise they're good. And these children who come from Nigeria, I think they're starting a new chapter. Because I'm hoping that when they finish their studies, they'll go back and help at the hospital. So here is the story of Christopher. Let us watch that. Story, and I'm sure there are plenty of stories. We are all stories of some kind or the other. But these are the stories of transformation, of resilience, of determination, of perseverance, of sacrifice, which his family made back in Nigeria. And then of so much of faith and surrender to travel miles, thousands of miles to be here in a different land, different language, different people, just in the hope of a better future. And that is the story, and I want to encourage all our devotees, patrons, supporters that we still have a long way to cover all the scholarships for all the students. I think we have not even covered 20%. So we have a lot of students in the medical school to cover. Please do share, spread the message, and tell others that there is something like this happening, something magical, miraculous down there in India. Let everybody support this cause, and let everybody help more and more children to come up in life. And I feel very happy when the right people get the right opportunity to do the right thing. I think this place provides that amazing combination, where really truly deserving students find this very coveted opportunity so that they can do the right thing in their life. They can do their swadharma and eventually help many, many more people. And then it should just go on spiraling over and over again, bigger and bigger way, so that more children are embraced and encompassed in its care. So with these words, and again to convey blessings to all the children, please work hard. There is no substitute to hard work. I expect absolute ethics and morality when it comes to examinations. So I'm letting the faculty know that again, compassion is good, but not inside the examination room, only outside. And they should earn what they deserve. And that is how they would know where they stand vis-a-vis where they should be. And then they are encouraged to do more, because you are not just placing a degree in their hand, you are placing the life of some vulnerable patient in their hands, and it is a very responsible job. So be strict as it should be. At the same time, be helpful to them by letting them prepare well for the exams. Now, till August 15th, it is all examination season. We have preponed a lot of education this first semester because we wanted those 100 days off. And so all the children are doing exams between now and August 15th. So I wish them very well. The university is doing its first semester exams. The medical school is doing its year-end exams. And all the other schools also are finishing whatever they have to finish before August 15th. So they are in a state of free mind, so that they can spend more time absorbing what else they need to absorb. And again, after November, the next semester's hard work will happen. But during these 100 days also, there are a few hours every day that have been allotted only for studies between the morning and the evening programs. So you will have to utilize that well. Don't waste even 1 minute, because that will cost you later. So teachers all are going to be here. We're setting up additional ad hoc classrooms so that your classes can go on between the two functions in the morning and the evening. And you make the best use of that time. Do not waste any time, because you won't be able to cover up later, especially the higher education people. Children are still okay, but those who are writing board and public exams, those who are writing their higher education exams, including medical exams, they all have to be very, very diligent, very careful that they do not waste even a single minute. And that won't happen if you're not distracted. That won't happen if you are not deviating from the discipline that it requires. If you're focused and very keen, every minute you can utilize, and what you can do in a year, you can do it within 100 days. So with that, I hope that all children will take their exams seriously. At the end, I am answerable to your parents about what you have learnt over here. I should be confident about it. So please work hard, and teachers also should help them to prepare for the exams. And I'll definitely be looking forward to spending more time post-exams. That is after August 15. So blessings to everybody. Keep at it. That is the word. Never give up. Keep at it, and you will reach there one day or the other.